One Saturday morning, I went to visit my friend Sherlock Holmes, but he already had a visitor. His visitor was a large man with a red face, small eyes, and bright red hair. "I see you're busy, Holmes. I'll come back another time," I said.
"You came at the perfect time, my dear Watson,"
said Holmes warmly. "I thought you were busy," I said.
"I am busy. Very busy,"
he replied. "I'll wait in the other room."
"No,"
said Holmes, and he turned to the visitor.
"Dr. Watson helped me in many of my most successful cases, Mr. Wilson. I'm sure he can help me with your case, too."
The large gentleman got up from his chair and said,
"I'm very pleased to meet you, Dr. Watson."
Then we all sat down.
"I know you like unusual, difficult cases, Watson, and this case is very unusual. Mr. Wilson, please tell your story to Dr. Watson."
Mr. Wilson took an old, dirty newspaper out of his pocket and began looking at the advertisements in it. I watched him carefully. From his clothes, I saw that he was an ordinary British shopkeeper. Holmes saw me watching the old man. He smiled and said,
"I see you're trying to be a detective, Watson. Well, it's clear that Mr. Wilson was a workman in the past, and he also lived in China for some time. Recently, he did a lot of writing."
Mr. Wilson was very surprised.
"How do you know all these things, Mr. Holmes?" "You are right. In the past, I was a workman."
"Your hands show it, Mr. Wilson,"
Holmes said.
"Your right hand is bigger than your left. You used your right hand a lot."
"But how did you know that I wrote a lot recently?"
"I looked at the sleeves of your shirt, Mr. Wilson. The material of the right sleeve is much thinner. That shows you were writing at a desk."
"And how did you know that I lived in China?"
"You have a tattoo of a pink fish on your right hand. That tattoo is only done in China. You see, I like studying tattoos. And there is a Chinese coin on your watch chain."
Mr. Wilson laughed loudly and said,
"At first I thought you were extremely clever, but perhaps it wasn't so difficult after all."
Holmes looked at me and said,
"Sometimes I think that it's better not to explain my methods, dear Watson."
He turned to Mr. Wilson and said,
"Did you find the advertisement?"
"Yes, here it is,"
he said, pointing to it with his big red finger. It was an advertisement in the Morning Chronicle of 2 months before.